Hello and welcome to United Bloodline. I'm Danny.
I'm Mike.
He's me dad.
This is me son.
And we're here to talk all things United. Nice to have you back, Dad, on this video because you weren't here with me on the last one. But anyway, I won't hold it against you. So the Takeover news is dominating because we've only got international football to look forward to, which isn't the greatest at the best of times. So give me a rundown what your thoughts. You got Jim Ratcliffe.
Well, realistically, I think most United fans want to get rid of the Glazers. End of story. Sheikh Jassim has put a value on the club at $5 billion. It just proves a point. The price, what is United worth at the moment, and obviously Jim Ratcliffe took 25% of the shares at 1.3 billion. So on those figures, that's roughly around about 5.2 billion. So 5 billion seems to be a realistic sort of figure. Now, I like to think I've got to be optimistic. It's probably not what I wanted Jim Ratcliffe to be part of the Glazers, but the money he's putting in, where's that money going to be going to? Is there going to be debt involved with Jim Ratcliffe? The only optimistic side of it, I think he wants to take control of the everyday running of United, and I think that could be a good thing because that's one of the big issues to me. You know, I don't think the Glazers were hands-on. They were happy with the profit at the end of the year, and that's not good enough. It's
to the Glazers, it's a business, isn't it? It's not a football club. It's they don't really see it as anything. It's just another business on the portfolio. You know, United fans all around the world, any real fans, you know, live and die for the football club. But the harsh reality is, you know, Man United is not the ownership of the fans. Unfortunately, it's ownership of the Glazers. Like, you know, when you go to the shop and you buy something, you get ownership of it. Simple reality is the Glazers, they own Manchester United, so they dictate what on earth they want to do. If they don't want to sell the club, they've shown they're not going to be forced into it. You can protest all you want, you can do whatever you want. They're not going to sell the club unless they want it and it's going to be met on their grounds. Now, the thing I want to know, as you touched upon, is 1.3 billion going in from Jim Ratcliffe. Where's that money actually go? Does it line the pocket to the Glazers, and then they've got complete control of where that money goes? Because the stadium's crumbling, the character needs a refresh, they need some new players in, it needs a bit of an overhaul. So what I'm worrying about here is you get investment in the club, but it's not going to go anywhere near the club anyway, and it's just going to continue to line the pockets of those that are taken from the club and not given, you know. So that's the worry. The other thing is, great that Jim Ratcliffe wants to buy the club as a stage thing. It would be great if he just purchased the club, but you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to jump in bed with the Glazers, and he's a United fan, so if he's a real United fan, he'll hate the Glazers just as much as us, but he has to do business to get the club over the line. And if that's the case, then it is what it is. But him getting 25% ownership does not give him control of the club. He's a minority stakeholder. Well, a little bit more than a minority. But he's only a stakeholder in the club. He doesn't really have a significant shifting power. The Glazers still control that. So there's got to be a clause in there which allows him to take ownership of the club over the next couple of years. Because if not, it's pointless actually him taking it. It's pointless him doing it.
There's a lot of speculation. I mean, obviously, the real facts haven't come out yet, obviously. But from what I'm seeing reading through the lines, I think he's obviously done a deal with the Glazers.
Yeah.
And I think over the next 3 years, I think he's hoping to buy the club outright. Now, obviously...
But that needs to be contractual.
Well, I do. And I believe that if he does manage to achieve this, they're going to be wanting more than 5 billion. So he's obviously got some sort of a deal done there, which is suitable for the Glazers. But success, really, to achieve any success, you have to be at top four every season to maximise. And that's not just on the financial side, but also from a player's point of view. So we've got to get the house in order on the field first as well. So I like to think now he's coming in. Again, I believe he will be taking more of a hands-on, which is a good thing. And I do believe we're going to have some money in January sales now as well. I like to think so. I'm led to believe that. And that's the only way he's going to really achieve success.
Yeah, by spending a bit of money. But as we've seen, Dad, it's not about spending money as well. It's about doing it the right way. And with the Glazers ownership, it's not happened in the past, and is it going to happen continuing forwards? Hopefully Jim Ratcliffe will act as a bit of a stopgap to allowing some of the things that have happened in the past going through. Some of the purchases that I didn't agree with. Casemiro at 70 million. I like him. Good player. Not worth 70 million at the age of 31. Rafael Varane. Good player. I like him. But coming towards the end of his career, it just, for me, wasn't the right types of signings. I'm just going to call it out. Many people might disagree with me. But he wants to take more of a hands-on role in the club, more in the sporting side of things. So maybe we might be seeing the end of Arnold and Murtaugh. Maybe. Who knows? Possibly. Hopefully. We'll see. But at least he wants to be proactive. And that's something United have missed from the ownership. Is someone in there, in the room, having those conversations who actually gives a crap. Because the Glazers don't. They just go on, Arnold, Murtaugh, and the rest of the idiots there that don't know what they're doing. They're great at making money, but they're also great at spending money on absolute rubbish and not getting the results on the pitch. So if he comes in, more hands-on, hat off to him. That's what we need. We need someone who actually cares about the club, because right now we don't. But myself, I'm sure yourself, a lot of United fans, just unsure of what this actually looks like going forwards. What does it actually look like? If we could see a breakdown of it, what it looks like, that would be ideal. It's not going to get released to us, unfortunately. But actually seeing, what does it entail? Is he going to take full ownership in 3 years? Is that guaranteed? Where's the 1.3 billion going to go? You could also say, where's the money coming from? Because if he's buying the club on debt, which he is, then that money's going to have to be paid back. Right? So it's going to have to be taken out United again. But he can't put the debt on Man United with the changes that have been made, which is good. So you can't have another incident like the Glazers did years back. But I don't think they actually want to sell. They've come out on this. They've said it a few times. They believe United are at a 10 billion estimate of value. I guarantee they want to wait till the 2026 World Cup, like they've said, and they think they are going to get 10 billion.
I think they're looking at the trends that are happening now in the world of sport. It is across the golf, the boxing. There's a new revenue stream coming in here now to do a lot of the internet. So it's about selling the rights, and so they probably looking at that from that point of view. They're looking at it as a business.
That's
correct.
That's it. They don't actually care what really happens.
Yeah.
It's a business. They don't care if United finish first or 10th or whatever. Of course, they would prefer us to finish higher up in the league. But as long as the Man United brand still runs as a business and collects the money that it needs to, they are happy. They don't care. And the ultimate truth, whether you like it or not, the only way you ever really cause shockwaves is by not attending the stadium. I hate to say it, and there'll be fans who watch and they'll say, well, I support the team through and through, and so do we. I'm not saying we don't, but if you're going to then buy season tickets, you're going to buy tickets like we do, you're only going to, you are ultimately lining the pockets of those, right? That's what it is. They're seeing full stadiums every week, the same revenue. They are literally, what they're doing is holding out for more money. So if the only way you would ever really encourage them to leave is by decreasing your involvement in giving the money into their pockets.
Yeah.
That's the only way you would be of certainty of getting them out. Imagine the next game, United at home. I have to look at the fixture list. The stadium was half empty. That would cause more of a shockwave than banners on the tunnel saying Glazers out. And then that was a regular repeat thing.
Yeah.
Empty stadium. It would be far more impactful.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be optimistic. I mean, they're talking about with Jim Ratcliffe now maybe a 90,000-seater stadium, so obviously looking to expand that. And the ground does need a lot of work doing to it. And if he has got a more of a hands-on situation on the everyday running, and I think that's got to start at the top. And it comes down to everything. I think the manager, Ten Hag's doing a great job, but you can't really change him. It's about this next January sale transfer window, and I think you've got to start offloading players and bringing the right type of players in to do the job, and young players as well, for a longer sort of regime, rather than just short term.
Yeah, you can't. The whole ethos of buying big names needs to be kicked out the door. That's still a pattern that you see, buying the big names. I'm not a believer of it. I don't think it works. The ones that are the seasoned pros that are unfortunately injured. Like you look at the history of United buying the recent players of an older generation. Great, but you can't build stability on it. You just want a bit of quick success. So we'll have to see how it evolves. What's my general thoughts on it though? I'm just unsure. I'm unsure whether all of these criteria, I think there's just a lot of what ifs. What if that does happen? What if he does take control? What if he doesn't though? And then you're still in the ownership of Glazers for 10 more years?
I mean, there's nothing, unfortunately, is going to change at the moment, because obviously now the Glazers are still there. We've got to accept that fact. I hope that whatever Jim Ratcliffe sorted out with a deal with the Glazers, that actually he's left to do what he's supposed to do. If it's the everyday running of the club, the actual structure, staffing it down to players, contracts, all those things that you need to do. They need to be someone who understands football. And unfortunately at the moment that's not been happening at United.
Yeah, so we'll have to keep a close eye on it as it evolves, what happens, see where the direction of the ownership is going into. Fingers crossed. If Ratcliffe comes in, I think he's got the right intentions at heart with United. Don't think there's any ill malice in what he's trying to do. Only time will tell. But he's a Man United fan. Although he tried to buy Chelsea, but he obviously wants to own he owns Nice, which let's not go down that route anyway and talking about that. But at least he's going to be a bit more hands-on. So we'll see as it evolves. And we'll take it from there, I guess. Yeah, see where it goes.
We've got to be optimistic, and I think January transfer window is going to be key. Definitely, because he wants to. You've got to have top 4 this year. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, that's
got to be top 4.
Yeah, that's it. That's a kind of nuts and cranny of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Top 4, we need it. So we'll see how we get on. So we've got the fixtures back this week. Looking forward to the Premier League. We've got Sheffield United. We should be winning, but we'll go through pre-match build-up over the next couple of days. So I've been Danny from United Bloodline.
And I'm Mike.
And he's me dad.
This is my son.
And we'll see you again.
Take care.